Welcome back to Patreon, one of the few places left on the internet where you can speak openly and speak frankly and freely about what you perceive and what you believe to be the truth. Hundreds are joining us every day. It is absolutely an amazing thing to see. Spread the word. Say, hey, there is this place where you can go where everything isn't so sanitized, because it's a place that we've created, and that's really the case with the Patreon channel. It is directly created by the viewers. YouTube will always be there because of the advertisers, but Patreon exists solely because there are viewers willing to step up and say, okay, here's $1. We want to hear you speak. To cover something that we have talked about and kind of put it to bed, so to speak, I made this meme to show something, and it actually has a lot to do with what's going on in the media now. Many look at this and think, oh, you just picked 3 random pictures of pretty girls. Absolutely not. Because there's a concept here that roots itself in a certain deception that is the fault of language. The woman on the left, biblically dressed, covered head to toe, neck to ankle, yet we would not say that that person is in any way conducting themselves in a modest manner. Now, girl in the middle, yeah, she's wearing a bikini, but she conducts a Bible study that millions of people watch on Fox News, Ainsley Earhart. And the only reason that she has millions of viewers on Fox News is because Fox News hired her because they saw the picture in front of you. So that's a bit hypocritical. Get hired at a big news organization because you are willing to wear as little as possible. And then once you get hired there, get a big audience, then all of a sudden shift gears and start talking about Bible issues. That doesn't fly. That's not modesty. That's deceptive. Now, the girl on the right. No money involved. The girl on the far left, I forgot to mention, was working for a site called teasonly.com, the sexy secretaries division. So she was paid to put those clothes on and pose like that. And there are a lot of women that dress head to toe, neck to ankle, that act incredibly immodestly all the time. And this isn't a let's go beat up women today kind of video. But the idea is the person on the far right is hanging out by their car with her 2 friends, and looks like friend number 4 just took a picture of the day at the beach. And they're at the beach specifically to go get a tan. So, and there's nothing wrong, nothing anti-biblical about being unhealthy. The girl isn't standing in any kind of a provocative way. She's just wearing a bathing suit. I'm a father of 2 very beautiful daughters in their mid-20s. And if you think I'm going to be lectured to by any so-called professing Christian about if they decide to go out and work in the garden wearing a tank top and a pair of shorts, not going to happen. I don't care what way people want to twist the Bible, but here's the real point of why I brought this up. Now, people look at this and go, wait a minute, hold on, back up. What does this have to do with anything? 1 Timothy 6:10 in the Bible says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, and most people stop there. They don't continue reading, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So the problem with the 2 girls on the left is what they're doing, they were doing in the pursuit of the love of money. This one on the right, not the case. But this word, sorrows, when they say pierced themselves through with many sorrows, what do we know sorrow to mean? sorrow actually means birth pangs. So this image back here, this says sorrows and birth pangs. They're synonymous. They're the exact same thing. So in the context of money, pierce themselves through with many sorrows. Basically, the idea here is this. They have, for their love of money, created so many scams and schemes trying to birth more money, literally trying to birth more money. They have created a nightmare for themselves. And how does that not exactly describe our banking system? Trying to create something out of nothing in the pursuit of money. This is Shakespeare, not the Bible, just to be clear. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. When you take the money out of the equation, and you take the pursuit of the money and the love of the money out of the equation, that changes everything, which leads us to this. We have two African-American women, one liberal, one conservative, both telling the exact same truth. One is canceled from the internet. One is promoted and lauded and seen as someone to be followed and listened to. Now, what did Kamala Harris say? Not easy to get a conviction in George Floyd killing, Harris tells The View. Now, most people would think, wait a minute, how can she say that? I guarantee if Candace Owens had said that, she would have gotten even more canceled from the internet than she already has been. Senator Kamala Harris, a former Democratic presidential contender and potential vice presidential pick, spoke out Monday about her efforts to pass a federal anti-lynching bill, which will now be included in a new package of policing reforms being proposed by Senate and blah, 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 blah. Her quote, "It will not be easy to get a conviction because juries tend to believe police officers. Quote, it is still the case that jurors are inclined to trust because that's part of the social contract, to trust police officers, and that has been part of the difficulty that so many prosecutors have had when they brought these cases. But there's no denying that this officer and those who are his accomplice should pay attention, real consequences, and accountability for what they've done, blah, 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 blah." But the point is this. You see, she's a senator, and she's a prosecutor, and I really honestly believe, based on that statement, she might have already had a peek at the use of force reports that are going to be coming out in the trial of this man that show, like is reported by NBC here, that in the 273 cases in the last 5 years of the Minneapolis Police Department using restraint techniques like this, in not one single case did the person die. In fact, 44 of those times, the police officers rendered the victim unconscious, and the unconscious victim did not die. Charging a man with murder, too, saying that he believed, or a reasonable person, would believe, that if I do X, death will occur. When there's proof that in 273 cases, death did not occur. Even if you could make the allegation he was trying to render him unconscious. In these 44 cases, nobody died. So to try to prove that this man and his other police officers around him would have reasonably believed that their actions was resulting in death. No way. And then you add the fact that this guy was a quote-unquote asymptomatic spreader, COVID-19 sufferer, and had, most importantly, fentanyl and recent methamphetamine use. Under other significant conditions, those two drugs are known to kill people. Those two drugs are known to cause early death. And no doctor that they put on the stand is going to be able to deny that fact. All the defense is going to say, do you believe that in this particular case, if the deceased had not partaken in those drugs, that they might have had a result more like the 273 other people that had these neck pressure techniques used? Once that doctor says yes, it's game over. Every one of those police officers will walk. They're never going to get, based on the idea that they are police officers, they will never get a murder conviction. They might have gotten reckless homicide, involuntary manslaughter, but they're never going to get murder. They're just never going to get it. So the Candace Owens video is actually on YouTube, believe it or not. I'm sure it's, of course, demonetized, but where she says she didn't support George Floyd, and she talks more in detail about what he was and about what an average, normal, rational person's stance should be. If you want to listen to it, Candace Owens, quote, I do not support George Floyd, ! Quote, and here's why, ! DURTTY daily, dirty daily. I guess that's the channel here, 90,000 subscribers. If you want to go look at this for yourself. And I guess I can probably put a link down in the Patreon description, not the YouTube one, just to cover something real quick about Patreon. Patreon does not host videos like YouTube does. Vimeo actually hosts videos. That means when I upload a video, upload to YouTube, and I leave it in the unlisted status, which is perfectly fine with YouTube. They have no problem with that. And then I take that unlisted link, and then I put it over at Patreon. Now, the video there has its own description box. It even has its own like and dislike buttons that are separate from the description box and the like and dislike buttons that you will find on the YouTube video. I know it's somewhat confusing, but it just has to do with video sharing versus video hosting. So anyway, thank you guys very much. Like, share, subscribe. I very much appreciate everything you guys are doing, and we will see you next time.